It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. You're knowing what you are wanting, more or less. You're appreciating the contrast of your environment. Oh yes, especially that. Especially that. You are coming to realize that the contrast or variety from which you choose helps you to decipher and to discern and to come to conclusions, that all of this contrast helps you to focus your desire. And you know that even if you don't speak your desire in words, you usually do, but even if you don't, do you know that whenever you know what you don't want, the equivalent, what you do want, is born from that and is known by source? You just can't be someone living life and sifting through life, observing and having experiences without constant preferences being born. And those preferences that are born, they are the leading edge. They are the furthest most creation, because just to want it is a creation of it. Do you get that? Just to want it sends it forth from you vibrationally. And it is so significant that you are here willing to dive into the contrast and give birth to the desire, and give birth to those desires, that when a desire emanates from you vibrationally, the larger part of you embraces it and literally, vibrationally becomes it. So each time an experience causes you to clarify more a preference, whether you are a one-celled organism or a full thinking genius human, or even if you are a collective consciousness. In other words, desire is born and source receives the desire and becomes it. It's a wonderful thing the way it is all working, because you were source energy before you came forth into these physical bodies. Many of you realize that. You refer to that place from which you have come as source often. You think of that non-physical part of you as your soul. But we want you to understand the picture in a fuller sense. We want you to know that, yes, of course, you were non-physical energy before you were the personality that you know as you in this physical body. But even though a part of your consciousness has come forth into this physical body, there is a larger non-physical part of you still non-physically focused. And it doesn't matter whether you call it soul or source. We refer to it most often as your inner being. That vibrational part of you, that solely vibrational part of you, is vibrationally available to you at all times. So here you are in your physical body, also a vibrational being, although you often don't think of yourselves as vibrational. Now you are here so fully functioning as physical beings. You can see yourself and around you with your eyes. Your physical senses help you to interpret this time-space reality in significant ways. And so you often forget, even though all of that seeing and all of that hearing and all of that feeling and smelling and tasting and touching, all that physical, tactile beingness, every bit of it is vibrational interpretation. But you're so good at it, you don't say, I think I will vibrationally view you. You say, I see you with my eyes. You don't say, come and give me a vibrational whiff of you, although it is nice. What you say is, I can see you, I can hear you, I can smell you, I can touch you, I can taste you. What you see and hear and taste and smell and feel with your fingertips is all your ability to interpret vibration. And there is another vibration that we will talk a lot about here today that we really want you to get good at interpreting. And that is the vibration that is interpreted through your emotions, because your emotions are your indicator of the vibrational relationship between the source vibration that is always being offered to you and the you in this moment, what you're thinking about vibration. When what you're thinking about in this moment resonates completely with the source within you, you feel what you describe as positive emotions. Feels like joy, feels like eagerness, feels like love or appreciation. But if what you are focused upon in any moment doesn't resonate with the source within you, then it doesn't feel good. That's what hate feels like. That's what disappointment or fear feels like. In other words, the better you feel, the more in sync you are with your broader perspective. And the worse you feel, the more out of sync you are. Now, we acknowledge that it takes a little bit of time to get a handle on your emotions, because most of you have trained yourself apart from them in the sense that you know you have them. It's just that most people that you know, maybe even you, do not use your emotions to guide yourself, which seems sort of crazy to us because it is your emotional guidance system, and you came forth understanding that it would always help you to know whether in any moment in time, which is where all of your power is, you are up to speed with all that you have become or not. Here's how it works. You were source energy. Part of you came forth into this physical body. While in this body, you sift through the contrast. You know what you don't want, which causes you to know what you do want. And when you offer those rockets of desires, the non-physical part of you embraces and becomes that newly decided intention that you set forth. So that means, because of the life you've lived, the non-physical part of you has expanded to a new and improved preference. When someone's rude, you want them to be nicer. When you are rude, you want to be nicer. When you don't have enough of something, you want more of it. If you are sick, you want to be well. All day, every day, you are sifting through the contrast and coming to new conclusions of what would be better. Now, when you think about that in the total context of all that is physically focused, think about how magnificent that process is. That you, out here on the leading edge, who are selfishly, because you can't see or experience other than through the lens of self, as you are having your exposure to life, you are coming to improved preferences. And the source within you is saying, you should know, you're out there on the leading edge, you should know what would be better for you right here and now. And as you offer that vibration, non-physical goes to that farther leading edge place that you have come as a result of your life experience and holds that vibration until you offer another and another. So you could say that the source from which you have come is keeping up moment by moment with the expansion that you carve out of this physical time-space reality, just as you and we all knew it would be. But sometimes, after you have caused an expansion of who you are, you don't go. You don't take the expansion. In other words, if you are sick and you ask for greater wellness, your inner being actually becomes, we're not kidding you at all about this, becomes weller vibrationally than that part of you was before the physical part of you got sick. In other words, you carved out through your exposure. Even the cells of your body are emanating these requests. In other words, when one of your cells gets out of whack, it sends forth a request for balance, a request on your behalf. But if you stand here in your sickness, noticing it, pigeonholing it, cataloging it, diagnosing it, worrying about it, fussing over it, commenting on it, looking it up on Google, these are my symptoms. As you hold yourself in the attention of the discord or discomfort that you are feeling, you don't allow yourself to move in the direction of the wellness that has already been carved out. So we want to today draw your attention toward this vortex of creation. Your inner being stands right in the middle of it, and law of attraction is responding to it. And all cooperative components are being drawn. So we want you to ask yourself often, am I, in my physical body, a cooperative component? Life has caused me to expand. Did I go? Or am I a vibrational holdout to my own expansion? And the answer lies in the way you feel. The better you feel, the more you are in sync, the more you are closing the gap between you and you. The worse you feel, the more you are disallowing alignment with who you are. Do you know that whenever life causes a problem to be apparent to you, that in this vortex of creation appears in the precise moment the solution? In other words, in everything that you are living, as you know what you don't want, the equal and equivalent what you do want is born vibrationally. And we just want you to know that when you have a question, there is an answer there. When you have a problem, there is a solution there. When you have a need, there is a supplying of it there. In other words, everything that you live is causing you to ask, and when you do, it is given immediately. It resides in your vibrational vortex of creation. Again, the question is, where are you in relationship to your vortex? So here's this spinning vortex. If you're over there in despair, you're nowhere near it, and the vortex will not take you in as a cooperative component. You're uncooperative in your fear, or in your anger, or in your resentment. You're uncooperative in your feeling of disempowerment. If you are frustrated or overwhelmed, you're closer to the vortex, but you're not close enough to be drawn into it. You know where the line is where that vortex can reach you on the emotional scale? It's somewhere between hope and believing. If you can get in the vicinity of hope on any problem that you have or on any creation that you're wanting to create, if you reach the vicinity of hope, the vortex every now and again will just draw you right in as a cooperative component. And when you get in there, you will see, you will know, you will feel, you will have the belief, because right before you will be the apparent manifestation. In other words, when you're in the vortex, that's when the solution is known by you. If you are outside the vortex, you cannot know. You must be vibrationally up to speed with the solutions you seek before you can even see them. So if you're saying, I've wanted it for so long and I cannot find my way to it, a more accurate thing to say would be, I've wanted it for a long time, and because I've wanted it so long, I have created a vibrational masterpiece in my vortex of creation. But because I can't see it, and I maintain an attitude of doubt, I hold myself vibrationally apart from it where I can't see it. So actually what you're saying, if you really want to be accurate, is, I can't see it because I keep saying that I can't see it. I can't find it because I keep feeling that I can't find it. I can't find it because it's lost. I can't find it because I'm not worthy. I can't find it because I'm not smart. I can't find it because I'm resentful. I can't find it because I'm so sick of not finding it. I can't find it because I am burned out. I can't find it because I've tried so hard and struggled so long. I'm tired. I can't find it. I'm tired. I can't find it. And we say, yes, you can. You just got to lighten up. You just got to stop saying you can't find it. You just got to stop beating the drum of what is. You've just got to stop beating the drum of what's missing. You have to stop asking the question, or you can't hear the answer. Because the vibration of the question and the vibration of the answer are two different vibrations. The answer's in the vortex, the question isn't. The problem's not in the vortex, but the solution is. Are you getting the sense of this? You've got to adjust yourself vibrationally to get into the vicinity of what you are looking for before you can see it. Many say, well, that's a bummer. If I was in the vortex, I'd already be happy. You mean I have to feel like I've got it before I can get it? And we say, yes. And you say, then give it to me. Then give it to me and I'll feel like I've got it. But it's very difficult for me to feel like I've got it when I don't have it. And we say, there you go again. You're focused upon not having it. And you say, well, how can I know the sweetness of having something that I don't have? And we say, are you completely rooted in what is? Can you only look at what is? Or do you have the power to remember, the power to imagine? Or better still, do you have the power that the source within you has, that when you know what you don't want, an equal and equivalent what you do want is born? In other words, don't you know in a more acute way that you want to be well when you are sick than any other time? Isn't that when wellness really focuses within you? And if you could ride the rocket of wellness rather than drag yourself around in the probing and poking of the illness, you would be weller after you were sick than you were before you were sick every single time. So, we are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. We see our greatest advantage to you to lure you into the vortex. We've written several books, and every book is full of processes, and every process has been written with the express intent of helping you to release the resistance, which is the only thing that ever holds you out of the vortex. If you were resistance-free, you would be like the cork bobbing right back to the surface. You have to hold that cork under the water. When you let it go, it goes right back to the surface where it and you belong. So when you no longer beat the drum of the problem, the solution comes. When you no longer beat the drum of being lost, you find your way. When you no longer beat the drum of what you don't want, you find the equal and equivalent what you do want. These are the laws of the universe, and they are working for you. You've just got to work with the laws. You can't buck your own current and get to where you want to be.